Welcome to section 6, and we are talking about functions.
In the last section, we looked at loops and iterables.
In this section, we're going to look at a few things. But first of all, we're going to introduce the basic concepts of functions and why you would use them. Then we're going to move on to parameters and arguments you can supply to your function. What the difference between a function that returns a value versus one that performs an action, so return versus void functions. Then we're going to give a lot of examples of functions and when you would use one. And afterwards, we are going to dive into recursion, which will be very interesting. So in this video, we're just going to talk about function basics. So that is, what is a function and why would you use one? What are some of the advantages of using functions, and how do you create a function? So, what is a function? A function is a way to encapsulate code into performing a specific task. This could be anything from sorting numbers, triggering an event, or maybe even doing some kind of numerical computation. The advantages to using a function is that it's easier to debug, it's easier to find a mistake, and the code you write in a function is reusable. In fact, we have been working with built-in Python functions for the last 5 sections. So below I've given some examples of functions provided by the Python standard library, such as the length function, the max function, the string split, list.append. All of these are functions. But now let's look at how we would create our own functions. Let's have a look at a small motivating example of why one would use a function. Suppose I want to calculate the area of a circle with radius 5. We know that the area for a circle of radius 5 has the following formula. It's pi r squared. So, naturally, if I want to display that, I would say 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by pi. But then if I want a circle with radius 10, then I would have to go back and change the numbers to be 10. Or if I wanted, yet again, another size, then I have to go 13, 13, and so on and so forth. However, instead, if I create a function, I can get the function to calculate what the area of the circle is for me. And therefore, I don't have to remember what the formula for the area of a circle is every time I want to use it. So in Python, to create a function, you use the def keyword, which likely stands for define, and you give it a function name. And my function name is just going to be circle area, put the round brackets, and then put r, which is going to be our radius, put a semicolon, and indentation, and say return pi multiplied by r multiplied by r. So this is the formula for the area of a circle, pi r squared. And then if I wanted to execute this function, then instead of writing the formula for the area of a circle again, I just call the function. And then I give it the radius I want. So since it takes one argument, then I give it one argument, which is radius. And then this does the work for me. So I can easily now change the value of the radius to get different areas for different size circles. So already we are starting to see the advantages of using a function. We've encapsulated what the formula for a circle is inside of this function circle area, and we get it to compute the area of a circle for us, and therefore that's a lot easier and more readable on the programmer's side. If I can just call a function that'll get me the area instead of remembering what the formula for the area is every time, then that's a lot cleaner and that saves us a lot of time and effort. In this video, we looked at what a function is and what the advantages are to using functions. In the next video, we are going to look at how to extend our function capabilities by looking at what arguments and parameters are. See you then.